Good day everyone. So I'm James C. Makadagat and my topic is all about writing business and technical report. But before we proceed, I would like you to think about why is it important for us to study about writing business and technical report. So basically, it helps us to communicate information clearly and professionally. In short, it trains us to organize facts, write clearly, and make better decisions. So at this time, this is we need to achieve for this report. First, explain the classifications, parts, and types of reports, and write a sample report applying the principles of report writing style. So, for you, what is report? So at the definition given, report is all about a comprehensive document that covers all aspects of a certain topic or subject. It doesn't just tell stories, but it also presents the results of an experiment, research, or inquiry on a specific problem or issue. So, reports are written to share findings, observation, and recommendations in a clear and organized way. In short, a report helps communicate important information based on facts and evidence. So, these are the types of report that students usually do in school. So, these are some of the report that usually do in school. First, book report, research report. Third, laboratory report. Fourth, project report and oral or presentation report. So, how to frame them? First, you need to conclude the title page. So, at your title page, you need to include the title, your name, subject, and date. And introduction. Introduction is the purpose of a report. So, including the why is it important or the significance of what your report is all about. Ganun. Then next is body, including the details, data, and findings. And lastly, conclusion or recommendation. You need to wrap up of the report. So, conclusion, when we say conclusion, you need to conclude all the I think there's the summary or the main or the aim of that report you create. And when we say recommendation, it is all about suggesting what action should be taken, based on the findings or results. Now we will talk about similarities and differences of school reports and other organizational reports. Excuse me. So, in school reports, often for academic purposes only, but in other organization reports, used in professional settings. In school reports follows teachers given and may include reflections or opinions and graded for learning. And in other organization reports follows company standard or industry format used for the decision making. And their similarities is organized format, require research facts, need proofreading and clarify, and use for language, formal language rather. So next is the classification, types, parts of business and technical reports, which is our first objectives. So the classifications are formal and informal, but the types are progress report, sales report, personal evaluation, feasibility reports, and etc. We will talk about this later. So the characteristics of reports. So number one, it presents information, not an argument. So sabotable. The the given definition is sabotable. Number two, it is meant to be scanned quickly by the reader. It uses numbered headings and subheadings. It is composed of short and concise paragraphs. It uses graphic illustrations such as tables, graphs, pie charts, and etc. It may have an abstract or an executive summary. Number 7, it may or may not have references or bibliography. So they don't need, but if necessary, you need to put the references or bibliography. And lastly, it often contains recommendations and or appendices. So these are the report categories. Number 1 is the informal report. So it functions to inform, analyze, and recommend. It may be in the form of memo, financial report, monthly activities report, development report, research, and etc. And prefatory parts are not required. It is written according to an institution style or rules introductory. It is used for conveying routine messages. So basically, reports are generally divided into two main categories: informal and formal reports. The main difference is how detailed and structured they are. When we say informal reports are usually shorter and direct, while formal reports are longer and more detailed. Let's look at each type closely to understand their uses and features. So when we say informal, it is used to inform or analyze and recommend something in a simple way. It may come in the form of memo. Yeah, it's often written without an organization to share routine updates or information. The tone is usually direct and less formal. Its main goal is to communicate quickly and clearly without too much structure. So let's proceed. The types of informal report. So there are different types of informal reports. Excuse me. Depending on their purpose. So a progress report. It tells how a project is developing. Written to provide information about the way a project is developing. Yeah. Letter B, sales activity report. It helps a firm to understand about the progress of the sales people and also identify the shortcomings. In short, a sales or activity report helps analyze sales and market performance. Letter C, personal evaluation, used by an organization to assess an employee performance. Sabotable raman, sabotable. Their definitions are sabotable. So when we say personal evaluation, it is used to assess an employee work's performance. So they are they have the authority to guide or to evaluate the performances of their employee. So letter D, financial report, presents formal record of the financial activities. These reports are short, factual, and used for quick communication within an organization. Factual, when we say factual, these are the concept that the facts only, or the true or facts, when from the word itself, factual. So next, letter E, Feasible report assesses the viability of a new project, details whether or not a project should be undertaken, and the reasons for that decision, persuades or helps the decision makers to choose between available. Other examples of informal is feasibility, literature reviews and credit reports. When we say feasibility report, there's a checking if a project or plan is possible and practical. And literature review, it conveys to the reader that works already done and the knowledge and idea that have been already established on a particular topic or of a research. So basically, a literature review summarizes what is already known about a topic. Meanwhile, credit report details details report of an individual's credit history prepared by a credit bureau, collect information and create credit reports based on that information, and lenders use the reports along with other details to determine. So alphabetically speaking, a credit report provides a record of an individual's or company's financial history. So all of these organizations make better and more informed decisions. So let's move on to the second categories of a report, which is the formal report. Formal report, it is an official report that contains a collection of detailed information, research, and data necessary to make decisions. So it is formal, complex, and use an official level. So reports come in different kinds of depending on their purpose. This includes informational reports, analytical reports, research reports, case studies, analysis, recommendation reports, and each one serves a special function. Some focus on providing information, while others aim to analyze and recommend solutions. So let's go through each type in detail. Meanwhile, so these are the formal reports: informational report, analytical reports, recommendations, research, case study, analysis reports. So when we say informational reports, it is provides data, facts, feedback, and other types of information without analysis or recommendations. For example, a company may use an informational report to describe sales results for the month of progress on a project. It gives the readers an overview of what's happening, but it doesn't suggest any action. And next is analytical reports. It goes beyond just presenting results. Analytical reports present results. So analyze those results and draw conclusions based on those results. It attempts to describe why or how something happened and explain what it means. So analytical reports, they interpret the data and explain what it means. So you need to include the graph, pie graph, or something like tables, and etc. These reports analyze results and draw conclusions, based on the findings. For instance, a company might create an analytical report to study why sales increase or decrease. It helps readers understand, it helps us to understand what happened, but also why and how it happened. Analytical reports are very useful for planning and decision making also. Next is recommendation report. So this type advocates a particular course of action. This usually presents the results and conclusions that support the recommendations. So when we say recommendation report, for example, it answers question like, what should be done about a problem? Or, can a team do something to fix this? This type of report is action-oriented, meaning it helps decision makers decide what to do next based on evidence and analysis. Next is research reports. Most widely used report usually in university levels, but it happens for us also. Research report, for example, students may write a research report about product development or competitor analysis. Student may write a research report about involving gathering data, analyzing results, and forming the conclusions. These types of report improves our skills in research and critical thinking. Wider thinking also. So next is case study analysis reports. So when we say case study analysis reports, includes real life examples, and it describes actual events or cases and analyzes them to learn lessons or find solutions. So this type is often used in business, schools, or competitions because it helps students think critically and apply knowledge to real-world situations. It's like solving a problem based on actual case. Okay, let's move on to the parts of reports. Excuse me. So first one is title page. So at the right, this is the definition, which is name of the report, and the left side is a factual use language. So we say title page, it is a very first part of a formal report. It contains important details such as the report title, the writer's name, the receiver's name, the organization, and the date. Sometimes it also includes the team members and their roles. The title page also makes the report look professional and provides a quick overview of who wrote it and for what purpose. Next is the table of contents. So what you find in the report. So the table of contents lists all the sections of the report along with their page numbers. It helps readers easily find the part they want to read. Or major sections and subheadings are included, connected to page numbers with dots. The heading should be grammatically parallel, and no page number is placed on the page itself. In short, this serves as a roadmap for your report. And next is executive summary. When we say executive summary, a summary of the report should be no longer than 1 page. So it is usually no longer than 1 page and summarizes the key findings only, recommendations, and conclusions. Instead of describing everything, it focuses on the most important points. It is written in factual tone and uses the third person. Readers can understand the whole report just by reading this part. Next is introduction. So in the introduction part, you need to present the background and purpose of the report. It tells what the topic is, why is it important, and what the report aims to achieve. It may include the background of the problem, the approach used, and special words or concepts needed to understand the study. So this section helps prepare the reader, or prepares us, for the rest of the report by setting the context. So it use factual, use third person, and use of passive verb. Next is recommendations. So when we say recommendations, that is what I explained earlier. So when we say recommendation, it is all about suggesting what action should be taken. Things should be done as a result. It uses language such as factual, use of third person, use of passive verb. So make specific suggestions for actions to solve the report problem. Avoid conditional words such as maybe and perhaps, and etc. So next is bibliography. When you say bibliography, it is the books, magazines, journals, reports, and other references. So this is for me, this is less important, but if this instructor or teachers necessary gives instructions that bibliography is needed, so you need to include at your report. Next is methods. So the methods sections, it explains how the research or study was done. So it tells what type of research was used, what data were gathered, and how the process was conducted. For example, it may describe survey questions, sampling methods, or observations. The purpose of this section is to let the readers know how the findings were achieved, ensuring the study is reliable and repeatable. Next is the findings. So in the findings section, it is the heart of the report. It presents the results of the research in a clear and organized manner. So this part includes facts, figures, analyses, and interpretations. Graphs, tables, and charts may also be added to support the results. It's written in a formal tone using the third person and passive voice to make it objective and factual. So I think it's lastly, conclusion. So conclusion or recommendation, the conclusion is the summarizes the findings and interprets what they mean. It restates the key results and connect them to the main problem or question. And the recommendation section follows. This is where we suggest actions or solutions based on the findings. So lastly, bibliography lists all the books, journals, articles, and online sources used in writing the report. These three sections wrap up the report by using what was learned and what should be done next and where the information came from. So that would be all. Thank you so much if you hear or if you listen to this report. Mabuhay, next reporter, kabahan ka na. That's all.